Thank you, Wayne, for the quick introduction. Hello, Siddharth. Such a pleasure to have you here. Instead of doing the workshops in a meeting room, it's good to have some conversations at such a nice forum. So, FIS has been helping a lot of financial institutions across lending, trading, compliance, and risk solutions. And they have been a pioneer in providing these technology solutions to the financial institutions. But given from the past few years, the AI is keep on coming, people are talking about it. What you have seen as the real value or the shift in one of these spaces, and what are the talks what financial institutions are doing with the tech players related to AI and its application in these areas?
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure. To answer your question, so let me take you back in terms of how we have seen the fintech world growing, right? And that's where how it has been continuously able to add value to the financial services world. So as FIS, we look at the financial services world in a very holistic way. And that's the privilege that we have, being the size of the organization that we are, and cutting across the whole financial services world. So today, with our solutions that we have, you can say we have crossed almost 130 countries or jurisdictions.
Wow.
Which gives us that span and understanding as to how each of the markets are functioning, both from growth perspective as well as from regulations. In that sense, I would say 15 years and where we are today, that was the wave of digitalization. So wherein banks and financial institutions wanted to invest to move away from manual way of doing things and how to make it faster, fitter to the clients, to their prospects, so that they can approach the business very quickly. To that effect, what we saw was digitalization was the critical focus for the last 15 years. That has become the base today.
Yeah.
When I talk about artificial intelligence, data is critical at the end of the day. So it is very timely. In the last 2-3 years, we are seeing a lot that AI has to offer, and it is making an impact. So if I break down in the financial services world, fundamentally there are 3 areas of focus. The first is operational efficiency. How can banks and financial services serve their clients in a most cost-effective way? The second area of focus is around risk management. Now, in today's context, if you see, a lot has been happening in the geopolitical setup. We see a lot of things happening around the regulations. We talk about financial services. We talk about how climate risk has a role to play. So that is another area of focus wherein banks continuously invest to be in top of the game. And the third area, which is non-negligible, is customer service. Customer demands are growing. So now the question is, how can they serve their customers better? So in all these areas, AI has been able to play a major role. And that is something I see will continue for long.
That's great. And it's quite interesting to see your view. And given FIS has presence in over 100 countries, and the geographical tensions and the areas and the requirements are different for different countries. In terms of these geographies, what do you think that which countries are coming forward or ready to take the risk, or rather I say they're ready to adapt AI and do more experiments, be it in the operational efficiency space or the customers' engagements? So if we take Asia, APAC, and the Asia, MENA, and Europe and US, where you see that which regions are coming and be a trendsetter and trying to take that risk and be AI front. So what are your views on that?
So eventually what you see, right? I mean, Asia is at a point wherein there is growth. I mean, even if I not limited to financial services world, just purely looking at the consumer market, looking where the economies are growing, this is a growth market for us. And the best part is, with whatever has happened, if you look at the Western world, primarily if you look at the States, if you look at the European world, Asia is at a place where it is learning from what to do and especially what not to do. So that is something wherein there has been continuous efforts from organization. Financial services have been playing an active role. If you look at non-banking customers that we have, there is a fair bit to catch up.
Yeah.
We are still working with an economy wherein 50% of the customers are unbanked.
Yes.
There is a massive work that needs to be done for small, medium enterprises.
Yeah.
So as the growing economies are there with the likes of Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore. Singapore, of course, I would say Singapore and Hong Kong are a bit more advanced. They pave the path. But all these remaining countries, Vietnam is a classic country that I was speaking to one of your colleagues.
Yes.
And that is where we see a lot of traction. And the best part is primarily on the financial services world. It's learning from others' mistakes and trying not to replicate.
Yeah. That's very interesting insight as well. And when we talk about these Southeast Asian countries, right, that so many people are still non-bank, and the demands for SMEs, they are much different when we go into the other parts of the world. So it's quite interesting to see that how through these technologies, these clients are being served, and now with AI capabilities, we can serve them more. Now coming to the how to use the technology, right? So traditionally, you mentioned that it's been over 15 years. The trend has been how to add digitalization, how to be more fintech and trendy and be digital. Now this AI wave is coming, and everyone is trying to see how they can adopt AI. But given in the bank, there is a lot of process when you want to work with a vendor or you want to do something. So how, in your viewpoint, you see that what would be the fastest way? What would be the collaboration approach that the traditional tech players can work with the AI vendors, or do they build in their own AI technology? How do you see from the strategic point of view that the banks should consider that way to be at the pace and be out there quickly?
Yeah, that's a good question. So let's look at from the banks and the financial services sector. I go back to the point which I mentioned. So primarily the drivers for them to change are two fundamental. One is the regulatory pressure. Second is the geopolitical pressure. And third is, of course, the customers. So here, banks are dealing with customers where the demands are continuously changing. So they have to accelerate their way of approaching these clients. To stay competitive in the market, they have to continuously innovate. So for these financial institutions to innovate, they cannot do everything on their own. At the end of the day, they need the likes of the right partners to give them the acceleration to meet the changing market demands. And that is where, with variety of specialized partners and solution providers across, they can help these organizations attain the respective acceleration that is needed. I'll give you another instance. Like today, if you look at FIS, that is something which we have been continuously partnering with organizations to understand that the influence of AI cannot be point solutions based. It is not a time wherein you just look at one problem to solve and that can be a stopgap arrangement. It has to be looked at from a whole ecosystem perspective. And that's where today FIS also tries to match up to that acceleration in multiple ways. And that's where we do continuous investments. We do investments in our solutions to ensure that they are ready for our clients at all times. Second way of investment that we do is partnerships. And that's where today we are partnering with Dyna.AI to ensure what you bring to the table is more in terms of those automation and intelligence that can combine with our solutions and help the clients in the future. So those are areas that we see wherein the fintech world as well as the financial services world need to continuously work together. And technology will help in driving that acceleration.
Exactly. And it makes sense as well, right? Because you're a bank or you're a financial institutions, your core values, your core business is selling products, investments, or lending. You should not go into building AI agents or agentic applications or any technology platform. And that's why we rely on, we are here, we work with FIS and to build that and provide that ecosystem together. So there's a digitalization and an AI angle to it. In terms of, now we're talking more about the product, what do you think is the acceptance rate? Like when it comes to humans do make mistakes as well, right? Humans are not accurate as well. I mean, I will be hallucinating after 2 glasses of wine. But if we have an AI, and that's acceptable. But if we have an AI agent, and if it's hallucinating only for 5%, then people have a hard time and they they are raising questions, the compliance and the governance and everything is coming up. So how do you think that mentality has to adapt, or how do we train the humans as well, that AI agents can be wrong sometimes, but we should have particular guardrails in place and stuff. So how we train or educate our partners and customers to make best use of the technology?
Yeah. So the fundamental aspect here is responsible lending, right? So if I look at the commercial lending world, responsible lending is here to stay. So for every task in terms of assessing a particular customer, or in terms of monitoring different loans, or in terms of taking any particular escalation or exception paths, the fundamental here is responsible lending. So to that effect, it goes back to how we look at FIS, and that's the privilege that we have, in the sense that majority of our solutions look at tons of data. Like I talk about our core banking solutions, core ledger solutions, treasury solutions, even in the commercial lending space, we cover the whole gamut of the banking and the financial services business. So to that effect, we have a strong access to the quality of data. And with that privilege, it is also an equal responsibility for us to ensure that right information is available at the right place, and there is an accountability for every action that is taken within the bank or the financial services world. Within the technology layer, while there are mundane daily tasks where automation can play a role, AI is gradually picking that up to help further accelerate those kind of automation pieces. Now, within this whole aspect of automation and AI, explainability is important. And that's where it goes back to the fundamental that because there is a full data lineage to understand what is the core data based on which what decisions are being taken and why, that should be relatively explainable. And that is a constant education and knowledge sharing that we do with our clients and prospects to understand that how do you assess a customer, why a decision has to be taken in a particular way, and what does it mean in terms of their portfolio, their customer base, and so on and so forth. And those experiences and learnings get part of automation, and that's where AI decision power will continuously improve. That will give a lot of confidence. And of course, for the banking sector, it is something which is important for them to look at the next stage of competition.
That's really interesting, and very great insight about the data, because everybody now, the chalk is coming, the structured data and the unstructured data, and many people are just putting everything in and it's coming like garbage in, garbage out. So so it's not about having a good AI, but having a good quality data and training the AI on that quality data. I'll give you an example of a bank that they decided to build their own AI. Great initiative, good. And they trained their model, they trained their everything, and it worked fine for 1 month. And then a new updated version of the LLM came in and it broke everything. And they were like, oh, what should we do now? Because they didn't train their data and they didn't know that they had to train their data. And it's coming back to your point that there's so much data available and the clean data. So we have to be mindful that what kind of a data and how we process it and provide it to our AI agents to work, function, and be there and provide a better AI agentic capabilities as well. And not just like the agents and automation as well. Like some of the processes just works in the back end and get the job done and keep going. And so we are working with some of the regulators here in Singapore as well. They are creating a ecosystem where we go in and talk to the financial partners. What we are seeing that financial institutions are ready to take a step in or adapt AI for operational efficiencies and automations, but they are not yet ready to put it in front of the customers to play around and do something with it. What's your viewpoint and what you are seeing in the market or the interest from the financial institutions when it comes that you should put AI in front of customers and see if it helps to generate the revenue and not just operational efficiencies.
Yeah, that's a good observation. So as I said, it's part of that journey wherein now the maximum utilization of AI, purely it's maybe easier to identify the return on investment. So it is very much focused around operational efficiency. And now within operational efficiency, it's also taking the next step, which is operational excellence. What I mean by that is, it's not about doing the same job in a faster way or more accurate way. It's also the next step, which is there a better way of doing the same job? The objective or the outcome driven engagements. So that is where we see in terms of operational efficiency, there is a change or a shift that banks are adopting. The second aspect is when you talk about customer service, it is an interesting aspect because 15 years before, if you look at, customers were very excited about personalization. They used to walk into a branch and there used to be somebody who used to host the customer, have a dialogue. So it used to be a very personalized kind of service. What has happened in the last 7 to 10 years, with a lot of these digitalization and a lot of these self-service tools, customers feel that they are out of many. There is no personalization in terms of their affairs or in terms of interaction. And that is where we see now going forward, that is a massive area where AI will have an influence. When we talk about hyper-personalization, it is not only about the insights of different customers that banks can benefit from, but also the customer interactions, which can be much more hyper-personalized. Now, if I talk about in the retail space, this is nothing new. It is taking multiple jumps there. But again, coming from the commercial lending side, if I divide it into two parts, which is small, medium enterprises, this is going to be the next big thing coming up. Similarly, in the commercial and the corporate lending world, this is one area where banks are gradually trying to focus. And it's not only about learning their customers to make the right decisions, but also engaging each of their customers in a much more effective way. So that is the direction which I see, wherein hyper-personalization will be one critical area that will gain a lot more trust from customers. At the same time, will give bankers much more confidence in terms of having a better understanding of each of their portfolio and their accounts and so on and so forth.
Exactly. And it will also help the RMs to get more time. So if they are covering, let's say, 5 clients in a month, and if they have a tool which can help them to prepare and be confident about what they're talking with their clients, it will give them time to cover and talk to more clients as well, which again goes back to more clients, more revenue. Like we have been, I was at Insights Forum yesterday, and someone asked, like, okay, my RM saved from 2 hours to 20 minutes. What he's going to do for the rest of the day? Now he has 1.5 hours available to him. And the straight answer was, he can talk to more clients. If you're talking to 10, you can talk to 20 clients. So it's pretty interesting that how banks are also opening about that, service our customers better, generate more revenues, give them the service they need, and have that hyper-personalization effect on that. Now, since we are coming to the end of our fireside chat, I would just like to ask, and I always like to ask this question, what is the one thing that you're excited about that AI is going to revolutionize in, let's say, 1 year? If we meet again here in SFF 2027 and having this chat, what would be the one thing you would say that, Deepshikha, this is it?
Okay. So, I would limit this primarily around the world that we see for the financial services sector. And within that, of course, sky's the limit when I talk about the retail kind of sectors and the retail clients, etc. But coming back to the commercial lending side, I see, hyper-personalization is one thing which I see will come to life. And that is not easy, especially because when you talk about complex lending, you talk about relationships with organizations. And in a current setup where you see because of the supply chain pressures, etc., there is so much confluence in terms of how different counterparties are related to each other. There's a lot of insights that AI can bring in. So I would not say that relationship managers' jobs would be gone, but they will have a much effective role to play in relationship building. And it will change from relationship management, which is where I see AI will take that role. It'll be more about relationship building in terms of being the trusted advisor to clients, not as a banker, but more as a financial advisor. So that is a fundamental shift that I see that AI can bring in for humans, and especially in the financial services world. And of course, there are plenty of things that are happening in terms of automation when you talk about each aspect. We look at FIS primarily around treasury. There's a lot of things that are happening. We look at risk management with climate risk and so on and so forth. AI has a massive role to play there. And especially again in commercial lending, this is where I see this is the future that we will be in. So next time when I meet you, it will be not about how do banks or clients look at relationship management. It'll be more about what new as part of the financial advisory.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I hope the next time we'll be talking more about our clients, that how we have helped them through our AI technologies and the FIS technology, and make them and build that journey of hyper personalization and make the RM more efficient and help them to build the trust and build the relationship rather than maintaining the relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sid, for your time.